For practice it exercise 3.22 the name game, we are asked to write a complete program called the name game where the user inputs a first and last name and a song in the following format is printed about their first and then their last name. We're going to use a method in here. So we have our main method, which is going to run our code. We'll have a method, and this will take in the first name, and it'll also take in the last name as parameters. So now we can write our method. We can write it below, and we'll do public static void, because it's just going to print a string. And we will call it method, since we already called it that up here. And it's just going to be string name. In our code up here, we need a prompt, and the prompt is what is your name? So we'll have a system.out.print. The reason why it's print is because the scan is going to be on this same line. Now we need to write our scanner. So we will have a scanner equals, or we got to call it something, we'll call it scan, and we'll set equal to new scanner, and it'll be system.in since we are getting input. We can store the name in different parts. We'll have a string, and we can call it first and set this equal to the first part of the name, and we get this by using scan.next, and this gets the next string, which is 50 in this case, and we want to get sent, so then we would do string last is equal to scan.next, and it gets the last name, and then it pushes it into our method, and then it will print out whatever is in our method. So now we can write our method. We have 4 print line statements in here, so we can just copy this, make it a print line, and then copy this line of code and paste it in here 2 more times. Once we have all of this, we can start writing all of these lines. Our first line just takes the name twice with a space in the middle, and then we have also a comma after this name, and then after this we have this bow also, which is going to go in here. And now we need to change the first character of our string for both of them. We need to change it to B. So what we can do is we have a name here, so that's our string. So we have name as the string, and we can do dot replace. So we're gonna use the replace method to replace the character. We need to get the index. So we have to get the, well, we have to get the character actually, because we need to replace a character with a character. However, since the character changes every single time, it can't be a set character. So what we're going to do in here is name.replace, and we're going to do name.charAt, and that gets the character, and then we can put an index in here at the index 0, and we are just going to replace this with the character B. So this is our name.replace method, and we are using a name.charAt to get the character at the 0th index and replace it with the character B. In our next string, we are going to have this, and we are going to just paste it in here, and then we have to replace the first letter of our string, and what we can do is just copy this so we don't have to write it again. Name.replace, and then we replace the first character. Instead of a B, we're going to replace it with an F. In our next code, we have this, and we can just paste the string in here, and we need now to replace the first letter with an M. So we will have this name.replace, and replacing the character at the index 0 with M, And then on our last line, we are just going to print our name, but it's all in uppercase. So we're going to do dot to uppercase like this. That'll push it to be uppercase. And then we can have our exclamation mark. And if we run it, we have an error. And the only error is I forgot to put a space in between our two methods, because it prints out this method and then it prints out this method with a space in it. So right here, we're just going to have a system.out.println. And we have passed all of the tests. So this is the code that will give us this output.